Hi everyone, Sue Sparkle. How are you all doing today? I'm going to do a quick whip and chat, and firstly I'm going to talk about the Diamond Art Club that I'm working on at the moment. It's called Mother's Love. It is a 56 by 41 centimetres and is a round AB with 28 colours and 2 ABs. ABs are what makes your canvas sparkle more. They have a coating on the drills that gives them that extra shine, and they're known as Aurora Borealis, similar to the Northern Lights with all the colours flashing through the sky. And this one's called, as I said, Mother's Love. And it's a mother koala with her baby who was in the bushfires, and we had very bad bushfires here 2019-2020, where almost 11,000 koalas died, and this mum is protecting her baby there, and of course the flames going up the trees all round her. So there is quite a few 310s, also quite a few 3371s, because of the darkness in the front here. So I'll pop that over there. Now I've done 2 sections, and what I do is I divide them off. I use washi tape. You can get stronger than this that will stay stuck down, because some of this is peeling up. And I just lay the washi tape down and follow the line and do the same up there, and then I bring the strips down here. And then what I do is, as I'm working on each section, I will lift the tape. So when you first start, you need to lift this all the way up so it sits up for you. You don't want to be cutting into your canvas. And then you just cut it up to there, to the line, and you can fold that back. And what I use to fold it back with is cover minders. This one I just bought in a $2 shop, and I purchased the magnet. Sits on the back, so then all we have to do is peel this back as far as you want to go. You can do halfway, or you can go right to the second line there of washi tape. Put the butterfly on there. Actually, I try and slide that underneath there first. Bring the butterfly back, and it will find that magnet and it will stay there for you. This is another one I made. This is a Japanese flower, also a magnet underneath, and that's just made out of material. This little chap, I got him from New South Wales at the sanctuary in Port Macquarie when we went to visit one of my sons. And that little one there is just a button, and that's an owl. I hope you can see all that. There we go. We put him back there, wherever that magnet's disappeared to, which will probably be somewhere under there. It's fallen off. Okay, so, and that one's the lizard. Quite cute. And I just sit those up there. I've also got 2 others here, and they're little Japanese ladies. Again, I bought them at a dress shop, a material shop, and just stuck the magnet on there and the magnet on the back. So there are a few of my cover minders. Now, I took up diamond art about not quite 12 months ago now. I've been doing it for roughly 12 months, I bought a lot of projects through a company called Wish. Some good, some not so good. Some had bubbles and rivers. Some were badly crushed. Repeatedly I asked them if they would put in, and this is only my opinion, so if you've had experiences with them that are good, most of mine were good, but now and again they'd send me a canvas that had a foam roller inside that wasn't the full length once it was rolled up, so it didn't go from one to the other. And with the postage, they probably can get crushed quite a bit, and the ends, so all along here and up here, were just crushed. What I usually do when I'm getting canvases from there, or a double-sided adhesive, I will unpack it in the box, out of the box. I will let it rest, then I will place it on a trellis table similar to this one I'm using now, and I will tape it down. Sometimes I have to pull up the paper because double-sided have a white sheet of paper on them. Sometimes it's divided, sometimes it's one big piece. So I usually, if it's one big piece, hubby usually helps. And we take it off and then we lay it back down to try and flatten it out. But with these canvases, this is a Diamond Art Club. These are absolutely beautiful canvases. They have your index down one side on the right and one on the top left. These have all your colours, your numbers of your colours, and the symbol that goes with that number. And we also have a DMC code along here. Not sure whether you're going to be able to see that. I'll take these off for a minute. So this is the legend. Okay, so you've got your number, your code, your symbol, and your DMC numbers there. So they are on both sides, which is great. The material is absolutely beautiful. It's just great. Lovely and soft. And they do a great job with their artwork. Now, I think this one is one of JoJo Arts. So it's a 56 by 41. And they also put a frame size there so that if you want to frame it, you can take the 22 by 16 inch if they're not in centimetres, obviously. My pen's a Diamond Art pen. And they do come with your plastic tips. And there's usually a 3-placer and a single placer. And that just sparkles beautiful. So I'm using that pen today. But what I've done, and I'll just turn around for a second. I went and purchased some everlasting tips. And the lady's name's Nicole. And she supplies different range of tips. So you've got 2-placers, 3-placer, a 4-placer, a 6-placer, and a straightener. So you can straighten as you're going. It's got instructions on how to change the tip. And being very careful when you're removing the old wax. Don't use scissors or tweezers. Otherwise it might take the polish off the ends. So this lady's at Wangaratta. And the service was great. She also sent some stickers with that. Here is a lovely envelope with thank you. think this was the envelope. I'm hoping it is. It says, thank you for supporting small business. This is her business card. And she put in 2 packs of stickers. Ladybirds and Australian animals, which you can't see, but I have got them dotted around on below the canvas here. There's the ladybird up there. So that was lovely. And I think it was Jenny on YouTube that suggested to try Everlasting Tips. Very happy I did with that, very happy. So they are now on my diamond painting pen, as you can see. And I've probably been doing this project for probably 3 days. I can't sit at it every day. Just move some things out of the way. And now and again I just notice a drill that pops up, so I just place that down. I'm using the pink wax from Diamond Art, so that's in a heart shape, and I just push that down into the wax, just making sure there's enough in there. And then always make sure to put that lid back on because it will dry out. Now these little containers, these little heart-shaped containers, I also got from Wish, and they've come in quite handy. So I think you buy them in a bag of about 10. But yeah, they're really pretty and they look great. I'm using a white tray, but I'm also using, and that's from Mosfa, M-O-S-F-A. But I'm also using these, and these are also another Wish item. I have the bigger trays, which have 6 trays in each, and I've got the 2 of those there. I've got this is the first one I bought, and that's a 4 tray, but with the excess colours I've just got them sitting here on the bench, and then I've got a selection of pens over there. Okay, we'll make a start on this today. Just make sure that magnet's not going to flop over. So how is everyone today? Are we all having a good day? As you know, I live in Australia, in the state of Victoria, and we're having a warmish day here. Probably not as warm as inner Australia, like Queensland and Northern Territory. But we are in autumn now. Our autumn started a few days ago, and we are in autumn. So let's see. I will look for probably 898. This colour here, number 18, 898. So I'm just going to go over here, and here we have it. Excuse me leaning in. Okay, righto. So we're going to start this, and I'm going to do, so this will be a whip and chat. If you don't know what whip means, it means work in progress. Get out anything you're working on, even if you're just reading a book or you just want to sit and listen, and we'll go through what I'm doing, and I'll have a chat to you all. I'm originally from England, came here in 1961. My parents and my grandmother also came out with my 2 sisters. Unfortunately, I did have a brother, but when he was 6 weeks old, he passed away from whooping cough and pneumonia. He was in hospital and he came out for a little while. so I got to have a little cuddle with him, but he was soon back in hospital and passed away in hospital. So we came out to Australia. We came out on a ship and called the Himalaya. It took us ages, took us months to come out. I remember everybody on the ship was sick. We were all lined up in corridors down near the medical centre, and nurses and doctors were trying to look after us all there. We stopped at a few places. So we left from Southampton in London. I think our first port of call was, we didn't stop at Gibraltar because I think there was some fighting or something going on there. So, but we did see the Rock of Gibraltar, which looked great from the ship. Also, we went down the Suez Canal, which is now closed, and that was amazing because it was a slow trip up the Suez. We saw the camels, and we saw the pyramids, which when you were little, this trip was very exciting because we'd never been out of our hometown, Manchester, before, so it was an experience. But as I said, it took a long time to get here. We also went to Bombay in India. We were able to get off the boat there, and they took us on a trip in a little bus with no windows to where the women were washing all their clothes on the rocks, and my second eldest sister and myself, because I'm the oldest of the three, were very fascinated by how white their clothes were coming up. They were just beautiful, and we just stood there mesmerized watching what they were doing. I also had a ride on a elephant, which was great, very exciting. And but while we were watching these ladies wash their clothes, my grandmother, by the way, had stayed on the ship. It was too hot for her. My youngest sister, my mum and dad decided they were going to hop back on the bus, and they got on. We're still standing there mesmerised by them washing their clothes. Hadn't even noticed the bus had left, and we were still standing there. And apparently Mum, they got to the ship, and Mum said, "Where are the girls?" And Dad looked at her and said, "You had the girls." Mum said, "No, I didn't have the girls. You've got the girls." Anyway, obviously we weren't there. So the bus driver had to fly back, and I think they were hoping we might be still there because apparently, you know, we could have just disappeared. We could have been picked up. Yeah. And as it turns out, they got back there, and here we are still watching the women washing their clothes. So that was a bit of excitement. I don't know about for Mum and Dad, but it was for us. And then we travelled down. We eventually got to Perth, where we were supposed to be getting off. But friends of Mum and Dad's who got here before us sent us a telegram to say, "Don't stop there. It wasn't very pleasant. The accommodation. Come on to Melbourne." So we went to Melbourne. I think the first night we were there, first few nights, we lived in the top of a motel in rooms. Mum and Dad then got a caravan on a caravan park, and they both found jobs and saved up very hard, and we got a house in Baronia. So that was my starting in the country. I think my first school here was Mentone Primary, and my two sisters ended up going to the same school till we moved into our house in Baronia, and then we changed schools. That was a great experience coming over on the ship. Since then, I have had 6 children, 5 boys, once I got married obviously, 5 boys, 1 girl, and we have 10 grandchildren. They live all over the place. I have some nearer to the city in Melbourne, a daughter out near Warburton. I have 2 sons in New South Wales, one in Broken Hill, which is quite warm in Broken Hill, and another, his twin brother is in Port Macquarie, New South Wales. And I have another, my oldest son is in Cobram, which is still in Victoria, and my other son, he is in Finley, which is just over the border of New South Wales. Of Victoria and New South Wales. So yeah, they're some have got their families, the children, others are not married, but yeah, they're enjoying where they are. My husband's at work at the moment, so I thought I'd have a go at doing this whip and chat. I'm just going to get a drink, if you'll excuse me. I don't think I've talked for this long. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So I'd love to hear your comments on this YouTube. Obviously, I'm new. Never done this sort of thing before. Very weird talking to yourself. Well, you feel like you're talking to yourself. I know I'm not talking to myself. I know somebody out there is listening. Yeah, it's a bit nerve-wracking when you've never done this before. It's you're just not sure what to say. As I said, now I'm buying quite a few diamond darts. I just love how the drills are so shiny. There's next to no rubbish in the drills, even though I'm just using the ordinary jewels here, and I think I've got a bit of rubbish, I don't know if you can see that, in the pen there. So I'll just get something to pull that out. I wondered why my drills weren't, there we go. Oops. I wondered why my drills weren't picking anything up. My pen. So yeah, a girlfriend introduced me to this. As I said, I've had quite a few different jobs. My first job, I think, when I came out and left school, was at an upholstery firm in Bayswater. I was only there a short time because you'd go in every day and you'd tidy up, you'd do some filing, you'd answer the phone. They had a very old switchboard, one of those switchboards that you plug it in to the extensions, and I'd never used one before. And many times I disconnected the boss, which didn't go down too well. After a while, I thought to myself, oh, there must be something else out there for me to do. I joined a firm called Myers in Ringwood, and I was there for a good few years. In fact, I only left because my eldest son was due. I really enjoyed it there. I was promoted to buyer of the knitwear department, and something happened there one day where the bosses came up to me and said, we need to clear all this Scottish knitwear. So there was cardigans, there was jumpers, there was cardigans with pearls on, and that sort of thing. So I decided to slash the price, and they were very expensive. But they had been sitting on the shelves for a while, so I slashed the price. I think I put them down below half price, so just under cost. And the bosses came up partway during the day, and nearly all the stock had gone. When I told them what I'd done, they were a bit upset. But they, by the end of the day, they were quite happy. They'd got rid of it all. They didn't make much money on it, but it was all off the shelves. So I worked there for a good few years before I had my eldest. And during the time when the children were born, I'd do jobs. I worked at a pub in the bistro. I've done, and once the children grew a bit older, I was able to do Mary Kay, Avon, Tupperware, Amway. So I've done a few things there once they were all grown up. And I remarried years later. Most of the children then had grown up and gone to their own homes. I didn't have anybody living at home with us. I took a course and did aged care. I worked at one facility in Victoria, in the country, in Victoria, and then moved down here. It's one of the suburbs of Melbourne, and worked here for 8 years in aged care. So all up I did 11 years in aged care. And on January the 3rd this year, I retired. And wow, it's just been great. I was able to fit in diamond painting while I was still working, and I just love it. I just love that it's so calming, so peaceful. Sometimes you get a bit annoyed when the diamonds go everywhere. That happens. But yeah, I just think it's a great hobby. Before this, I was doing patchwork quilting, making quilts for beds, babies for their cots. I've done wall hangings, and this is the room I'm in now. This is my craft room. One of these days I'll show you around it. And I had a girl visit the other week, and she said, oh heck, it's like Spotlight. Where's the shopping bag? But anyway, yeah, I've got a couple of sewing machines. I have a long arm quilter, which is the length of this room. And yeah, at the moment though, it's diamond art, and I couldn't even cut a piece of material at the moment because my cutting table's full of stuff, and this table where I have my sewing machine full of things. So yeah, but it's been lovely. I just love this. My husband hasn't minded buying diamond art. He quite often picks them out from Diamond Art Club, and when I get up in the morning, there's a little message there to say your order is being processed, or your order is being shipped. So I get a few surprises like that. My oldest son at Christmas bought me a new light pad. It's not this one. This one was starting to switch off on its own without me touching it. But while it is still working slightly, I'll keep using it. The one he bought me is a little bit bigger, so yeah, it's been exciting. I've started 2 portfolios, which will be another video, where I put some of the diamond art I've done in portfolios. I also have some hanging in frames. I have the Titanic, which took me about 3 or 4 weeks to do. It's I think it was a 50 by 70 or a 60 by 70, and when I was doing it, I kept saying to my husband, when I get to the water and the big icebergs, I just was getting a bit of a shiver, like cold. I was just feeling cold, and he said, "Oh no, you're dreaming it." So whether I was or not, I don't know. But so the Titanic's hanging up. I've done a large peacock, which is hanging, and also a Christmas one I had hanging over Christmas in a frame. This will be going in a frame, and what I usually do is, when I frame them, I go to where our trophy chap is here in the shopping centre, and I get him to make me some small little plaques that I can stick on the picture frame. So this one will have Mother's Love. My Chuck Pinson, which was called Afternoon Light, that also has one on. So it says Afternoon Light, and it says the place where he portrayed that picture, which is in New South Wales. So that one's also hanging on the wall. So I think I haven't done many. I've done about 20, but it's yeah, it's just so relaxing. And the girl that started me off, she's also still diamond painting. Some people I've introduced it to, and they say, "Oh, we can't see. That's too small." Not on the diamond art canvases, but on some of these others that I've got. They say that the symbols are too small. I can see them fine. I have my glasses that I use for sewing, so threading needles, that sort of thing. I do have a light next to me as well, that is a magnifier that I can bring down and actually do the diamond painting if it's too hard to see. So I think I'm set up quite well. We have all these, I have these containers that I use, and I bought the numbers for the top of them. So I have boxes of these, boxes for the squares, boxes for the rounds. I have a container for ABs, Aurora Borealis, and I have a container for round and square ABs, and also I try and keep my, I don't know why, I keep my diamond art drills separate. Over all the diamonds, they sparkle much brighter than some of the other canvases. I very rarely use tweezers. I always try to keep this plastic thing on the top there so you don't get stabbed. I also use a funnel. These little funnels came from a $2 shop here in my shopping centre, and when I'm kitting down, I will just put the funnel in, and or whether I'm putting kitting down or kitting up, and put the drills in this way. You have to be really careful though that when you shake this, if they're stuck, if you shake it, it doesn't come out. I've had that experience where they've all gone everywhere. So, and I've done it a few times. So that's that. Yeah. So we haven't got any dogs or cats. I have got a singing canary. when I remarried, my husband had a dairy farm, so we had quite a few cows. I was milking cows with him there. We did have a dog, and we had 3 cats. The dog's name was Jock, and he was a what was he? A collie. And we had a black cat, a white cat, and a Siamese cat. The white cat used to go walkabouts, even though we'd had them all desexed, and he'd come back just whenever he felt like it. The black cat used to love sitting in the hay bales in the hay shed, and so all our 3 cats, and not Jock. Oh yes, Jock came with us as well. We moved to a solely dairy farm, moved to a smaller property. We had really bad droughts in country Victoria, and we bought another property, but it was only 20 acres, so we couldn't take the cows, obviously. The cows got sold, and the other animals came with us. We set up a nursery, rose nursery, native plant nursery, and a craft supply outlet. We were there probably 6-7 years, and the drought was still going. Farmers couldn't afford to look after their gardens, to water them. They were going for hardier, strappy leaf plants. And by then, I think we'd lost the cat, the black cat, from snake bite. My Siamese cat, which for the 2nd time had been bitten by a snake. First time he recovered at the vets, but the 2nd time he didn't make it. And the white cat just went on his wandering habits, yeah, and didn't come back. Jock, the dog, ended up passing away. I was at work one day, and my husband rang and said, Jock's not very good. He looks like he's had a seizure. And yeah, he had to be put down. So when I got home from work, we buried him in the garden along with the cats. So since we've moved down here, and both working, it's impossible to have, well, for a start, cats go wandering into people's properties. They make messes in the garden and have cat fights. So we didn't bother getting a cat. And we haven't got another dog because with both of us being at work all day, a lot of dogs tend to bark. They miss their owners, so we thought, no, it's not a good idea. So we've just got a bird who sings quite often. Who's not singing now. I think that was a blackbird outside. Yeah, so we live on an estate. It's a beautiful house. I love my garden. It's only small, very small, but we have about 50 rose bushes, obviously, because we love the rose nursery. All different colours, so I can pick bunches of flowers and bring them inside. And yeah, I have vegetables growing in the garden. We have strawberries and raspberries. I've got apples, apricots, plums, thornless, blackberry, and quite a big herb garden as well that my husband made. So yeah, trying to be sustainable. But we haven't had any rain now for about 3 weeks. So mostly every second day, because a lot of our plants are in tubs, I go out there and water. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be getting a bit of rain, and that will be a great help. I just finished bottling 8 bottles of tomatoes that I'd picked in the garden. So pardon me, they'll be in the cupboard to use in the bolognese and lasagna, that sort of thing. I have watched quite a few YouTube videos, and I wasn't sure whether I wanted to do a YouTube whip and chat, because I thought I'm probably going to run out of things to say, and 1 hour seems an awfully long time. But yeah, I hope you're all enjoying it. Just listen to me ramble. I'd love to hear from you, so obviously if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If not, it's your choice. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them if I can. Otherwise I would try and find you an answer. I just hope you are also enjoying your diamond art. I just find it so exciting. I'm just wrapped. I just love sitting here doing this. Of course, I have to get the housework done and everything first, but yeah, I just, I think it just, you see this canvas with all these colours and numbers on it, and you just can, and you see the picture that comes with the canvas, and as you're doing each section, you can imagine what the artist was feeling, especially with this one, and ones like the Titanic, as she was drawing this. And it was just so sad that these bushfires were mostly set off by people, and not only was there devastation to the flora and the fauna, but people, some lost their lives, a lot lost their homes, and you just feel for those people. So I'm looking forward to getting this one finished and hanging on the wall. I'm not sure what wall. I'm running out of walls, because as well as the diamond painting, I've got patchwork hanging on walls. So one day I'll take you around with the camera and I'll just show you what I've got hanging up, and you can see a bit about where I live. My mum and dad have since passed away. Obviously my grandma, my two sisters, one lives now in New South Wales with her husband, and the other one in an outer suburb of Melbourne. So we don't see one another very often. We do keep in touch on the phone. Yeah, my mum and my dad both had cancer, and Robert's parents are no longer here. They passed away, I think it was the year after, it was either the year before or the year after my mum, and they both had cancer. It's a horrible disease. So yeah, so that is just a little bit about me. I'm not sure what else you'd like to know. I might get another colour here and we do a little bit more of this before I stop talking. 938. So I'll get 938. These trays are absolutely fantastic. You can take out, they come with either your 6 trays as well as the actual tray holder, or your 4. The containers come separate. The circles on these ones at the back, and I don't know whether you're going to be able to see that, pull out, and they have another pull-out section in there. So if you have round containers, you don't have to have those in. With the square containers, mostly they stay stood up, which is great because I'm always knocking the table. I'll just get another drink. Excuse me for a minute. There we go. Oh, this is another tool I bought. I think this one, I've made it wet. This one, where did this one come from? Also a Wish, off the Wish site, and it's a straightener. So I do use this when I've finished my project. I will take a soft toothbrush and brush it to get any excess of the pink wax or dust or animal hair if you've got animals, and I will brush the whole lot and give it a bit of a blow off or a shake, and then I will use the straightener. So I will go straight up and come back down on the next one, and then straight up and back down on the next one. Then when I've done all that, I'll turn it around and go in the opposite direction. Some people do like using one of these. I always do that before I then seal my paintings. So even if they're going into a frame, I will seal them, and just be very careful with your sealer that you have good ventilation, because it is very strong smelling. So here we go. So now we're doing number 19, which is the blue arrow down 938. So what have you all been up to today? Usually today is my housework day and washing our bed sheets. For the last few weeks on the Friday, it's been miserable, hardly any wind, cloudy, and a tiny bit of drizzle, and yeah, the sheets just don't want to dry. I've just dropped one there. Sometimes I will use the light box. I have got really good lighting in here overhead, and I do tend to, if not both curtains open, I'll have just one of the curtains open. But I have got a sun blind that's still down at the moment on the outside window, so just keeps out that bit of heat and keeps the direct sun off the canvas as well. These everlasting tips are absolutely fantastic. They pick up your drills fine. They fill with the pink wax. I haven't tried any other wax. I'm quite happy with this pink wax. I'm probably more happier with this pink wax than I am with the cheaper kits. The pink wax is a lot paler, and you can see right through it. This one you can see through, but it's a lot darker, and it's good effect with the pen, and of course the drill sticking down. So this is Friday. What is it? It's the 12th, I think. Yeah, 12th. I should know because my eldest son's birthday is on the 15th. And it is weekend, obviously, coming up. What have you got planned for the weekend? We haven't got terribly much. We've probably been about, is it 4 weeks out of third lockdown, and we are still having to wear masks when we go shopping, which is fine. I don't mind. Into the supermarkets and places like that, but the Premier of Victoria has opened restaurants with a limited amount of people. We unfortunately didn't have a Valentine's Day this year because we were in lockdown, so all the small businesses, I really don't know how they're coping, because they open up, they order in the food, and there was a lot of weddings booked for Valentine's Day, and flowers, wedding cakes, and they just had to stop. Cakes and food were being thrown away. Flowers, oh, the amount of flowers that were, you know, roses that were wasted. It makes you want to cry. I don't think our international borders are open yet in Victoria. I think they are everywhere else, but not here. We're not sure when he's going to get them back, and because every person who comes in has to quarantine for 14 days in a motel, this is where the problem has been stemming from either workers or people coming back home have been bringing the COVID with them. So yeah, it's not fun. When we were first locked down, it was for months, and my daughter, I couldn't see her, I couldn't see the grandchildren. We weren't allowed more than 5 k's out of our area, and they're about 45 k's, so they were the closest to us, so we couldn't see them. So yeah, it was a bit, you know, a lot of families, there'd be a lot of people that weren't coping, a lot of mental health issues with having to stay at home, and yeah, just find things to do. I still worked in aged care. I had to have COVID tests. I think it was every 2 weeks for the first few weeks. We did have COVID in our facility, and I think I had a bit of a panic attack one day going to work and finding out that there was another COVID test positive, and I just couldn't go in. I did go in through the front doors, and at that stage we had to fill out a form for travel, and the employer was supposed to fill out the form, and then we just signed it. They just handed us the form to fill out, and I went in and I said, is this a legal form? Because you're meant to be filling it out. And in front of other staff, he was quite rude, and I just thought, no, I can't do this. So I just turned around, went out to the car, rang my hubby and said I'm heading home. I was due to go on my shift, but yeah, anyway. And I drove home in tears, and rang my doctor and told him what had happened and what he'd said, and he gave me a week off, stress leave, and then the follow-up Friday, I rang him. He said, how you feeling? I said, I'm not ready to go back. I don't want to have to face him. And he said, okay, another week. So I had 2 weeks off. My husband worked through the first lot of COVID lockdown. He makes roller blinds. Well, he doesn't make them. They have a warehouse where they distribute them to customers, and so he was able to work. But this last lockdown that lasted for a week, he couldn't work because he was in another section, so he had the week off, and we just stayed at home, and yeah, we went for a coffee, I think. Sorry, another drink. It's a dry old day today. Oh yeah, I'm not sure what project I will start after this. I just finished 2 kookaburras, but that was only like a snack size diamond painting just to fill in some time. I have got quite a few big ones, like over 100 centimetre big ones. Not all diamond art, but I do have a big stash. My one before the kookaburras was a DAC. It was called the Draglings, and it was called Flight of the Fireflies. And I went looking for a frame for that one to go in, with no success because of the size. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. I have seen some blank canvases. I'd have to either use double-sided tape or glue to stick that down. So it's sitting on my sewing table up here, with a plastic cover over it. Not sure what I'm going to do with it at the moment. I have got a couple more diamond arts. I think it's one's Afternoon Tea, and the other one is So Many Books, So Little Time. And I just love Chuck Pinson. His pictures are just so beautiful. So I think I've got about half a dozen of Chuck Pinsons. I haven't done one of his yet. Sorry, I have done one. I've done Afternoon Light, but I haven't done one of his farmyards or his country properties. So I'm looking forward to start one of that. I don't know which to do next. Once I have put all my double-sided canvases on the table and stretch them out, tried to get out any rivers, bubbles. I will hang them on coat hangers with weights on them in my wardrobe. So that's another thing I can show you one day, all the canvases I've got hanging up. Doing it that way, I don't have to roll them back up, find containers for them. With it just being my husband and I that live here, if anybody comes to stay, they just get pushed up one into the wardrobe, and then they just hang there till I go in and pick one out and have a bash. So yeah, so this is coming along. As I said, very dark colours because of the fire. I'm not exactly sure whereabouts this was taken. I know it was Victoria, but I don't know whereabouts, in what area. A lot of people that were in the bushfire had to get evacuated. They were taken out of their towns, some by boat, and had to be given accommodation. But a lot of the houses still haven't been built back. I don't know whether it's government issues or, yeah, I'm not sure why they haven't got their homes back again. But yeah, devastating. Totally devastating. yeah. So I'm not sure how long I've been chatting for. It's supposed to be an hour, I think, a whip and chat. But yeah, if there's any questions you have, just leave them in the comments below, and we will get back to you and see if I can answer them. As I said, it is my first whip and chat. I've been watching some of the other new girls, and I thought, oh, I don't know whether I can do this. It's a bit nerve-wracking. I think maybe everybody would say that. I do watch Jenny. I watch the Diamond Dust Duchess. I watch Alicia, Mrs. Coffee, and I do ask those people numerous questions. If something comes into my head that I'm not sure about, everybody is very helpful, and they seem to want to help people out. I haven't done a challenge yet, only because I am not on what is it, Facebook, or the other one, which I can't think of at the minute. So yeah, and for the challenges, most of the time you have to be on, you have to be able to send your pictures, that sort of thing. So yeah, as I said, I'm not on Facebook, so, or the other one, which is still, I still can't think what it is. I will think of it when the video stops rolling. So I think I might finish up here, let you all go, carry on with your day. But here it's nearly time, I would think, to pick up children from school. The traffic out the front seems to be getting a bit busier, so I'd say that's what's going on. My husband usually gets home about 4:35. Then we'll have some tea and watch some telly, and yeah, maybe do a bit more diamond painting. Anyway, I'd like to thank you all for listening in today. Please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Give me comments, and if you like the subscribe button, hit that, and that would be mostly appreciated. Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen and children, have a good day. Sue Sparkle, bye.